What is going on, guys? Snickel here, and today I have another Platinum Trophy video for you guys. Today I'm going to be getting the Platinum Trophy in Tom Clancy's H.A.W.X on the PlayStation 3. Now, the last trophy that I do have to get is Afterburner, which is to fly faster than Mach 2 for 1 hour in campaign. There are only 3 planes that can reach Mach 2, which is 2,500 kilometers an hour, and those 3 planes can fly at that speed or over that speed consistently, and you're not going to unlock those early in the game, so this is something that you'll probably have to grind out a little bit later on. And even if you were using those planes, it would be a little bit annoying to fly faster than Mach 2 because typically in the campaign, you're not really, flying as fast as possible. You're in like dogfights and everything. With all of that being said, the servers for this game were supposed to go down back in 2016, but they're still up. So if you guys are wanting to do the game, I would suggest to do it, sooner rather than later. Anyway, if you guys do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments below, and consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification to stay up to date on all of my new uploads. Anyway, with all of that being said, let's get right into this video. I do live stream all my Platinum trophies and various other things over on Twitch, so if you want to follow me, there's a link for that down in the description below. So flying for Mach 2 for over an hour was just a little bit of an annoyance, and what I did was I started the first mission up in the game, and I can't remember the exact plane that I picked. I think it was like the F.A.18 or something like that, or the F-18A, or it's something like that. It's whatever ship looks like the one, or a plane looks like the one that I'm flying, that is the one that you want to use. And essentially what I did was I turned the radar on down in the corner by pressing the select button, and then I would just fly back and forth from the limits, and I just wouldn't reach the area that I needed to reach. That was over to the right now, was on the left, now on the right. And I just flew back and forth for an hour, and it took a decent amount of time, but yeah, it took an hour. So what did I think of the game? I really enjoyed the game. So I played H.A.W.X 2 back in 2016 before the servers went down. I tried to do it before the servers went down, didn't get it done, but then the servers ended up not going down, and Brian and I were trying to pick some games to play a few months ago, and we ended up playing H.A.W.X 1 and H.A.W.X 2 because there was Ubisoft servers going down. I thought, like, wow, they would probably shut the game down, so we should probably get on this sooner rather than later when they realize that the servers are still up. And we did, and then the servers went down for those games, and this game was still up. So it has survived 2 server shutdowns now, so maybe that's a good thing. I'm not really sure, but get it done if you haven't. But it was really not that difficult. So it is going to require a total of, I believe, 4 people. It might be 5, but it's definitely 4. A majority of the boosting can be done with just 3. The more people you have, though, boosting, the faster it is. But you are going to have to get the XP for everybody, because in order to level up, it is easier to do it online. It's not really easy to boost through the single player, and you're going to have to use a method of like deflecting missiles in order to level up. That's the fastest way to reach max level. Other than that, all the other stuff in the game is fairly simple and fairly straightforward. There's a lot of random trophies in the multiplayer, which are fairly easy to do, and then all you have to do in the single player is just beat the entirety of the campaign on the hardest difficulty. But if you play it with another person, it makes it pretty easy because you can't really fail missions, because if somebody dies, the other person's alive. You could just respawn, so it's essentially infinite respawns. You just have to complete the objectives, so that makes it a little bit easier there. And then there are a few random trophies in the campaign, but they're not too difficult. There's trophies like this one, flying faster than Mach 2 for 60 minutes. There's another one for flying with assists off for 60 minutes, which I actually prefer the assist off flying when playing the game. And then I think that's it for the main story random trophies. There might be a few here and there, but none of them are really too difficult. I know that the platinum for this game is like ultra rare, like super ultra rare. It's like 1.3% or something like that on PSMP. But it's really the multiplayer that does it, and it's really not that difficult. And I did play H.A.W.X 2. The video for that will be coming out fairly soon, but I have to say H.A.W.X 1 runs better than H.A.W.X 2. I like the H.A.W.X 2 UI more than the H.A.W.X 1 UI, but the game itself actually runs a lot better on H.A.W.X 1. Like, it's running at like 60 frames and stuff on a PS3, which is kind of crazy. But Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. It's something that I've been wanting and talking about doing for a while, and Brian and I finally got around to doing it. And there was really nothing in the game that was overly difficult. Even playing through the game on the hardest difficulty, on the elite difficulty, there was nothing that gave that much of an issue when playing through. And all of the missions were more or less fairly enjoyable, honestly, with two people on the hardest difficulty. So again, if you have another person to play the game with, I would highly suggest to play this with somebody else in the single player, because it is going to make it extremely, extremely easy. So we are pulling up here on getting our hour done. I did stream this, and I started the live stream like and started playing only a few minutes after. So I had somewhat of a timer because of the live stream, but I didn't have an exact time. And you can see over on the left, that's the speed next to, or above the radar. You can see it says like 2939 kilometers an hour. You just need to make sure that that's above 2500 kilometers an hour to reach Mach 2. I wish that there was like a sound or something that was made when you reach Mach 2, and it wasn't something where like you had to look it up to figure that out. But yeah, that was a little bit annoying. And there will be a challenge that pops up on the screen that you'll get XP for as well. So you'll also know right there, Afterburner 4000 XP. That is one way to know that you've gotten it done. And then shortly after, the trophy will pop Afterburner, and then we will get our Platinum Trophy validated aspirations. So this is a long game in the making. Really honestly enjoyed playing through it. But anyway, with all of that being said, let's take a look at this list. So here it is, 100% with a platinum, no DLC or anything. And as you're looking through the list here, you're going to see that there are trophies for beating every single campaign mission. There is going to be some random co-op trophies that you're going to have to do. There's going to be a trophy for beating the campaign on the hardest difficulty, along with reaching the max level in the game, that being 40, and also having some random multiplayer trophies at the bottom. I would say all in all, I really, really enjoyed this list. I think more or less it's a pretty good trophy list with what it has to offer. You do have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, which I do appreciate, along with having to do a decent amount of stuff in the multiplayer, but it not being super ridiculous. The max level would be a lot easier if you had more people, but with more people comes more time, because then you have to get the levels for those people as well. So it's kind of a trade-off, but I think having more people would definitely make it a lot easier and a lot faster. And with the multiplayer, you're going to have to experience essentially everything that the multiplayer has to offer with any sort of upgrades and things like that. So it is kind of enjoyable with that realm of the trophies. So anyway, with all of that being said, let's take a look at the profile. We're trophy level 576, 41%, got 14,325 total trophies. I've got 9,630 bronze, 3,210 silver, 1,256 gold, 229 platinums, and like I said, 14,325 total trophies if you're into that numbers kind of stuff. And then here's the platinum trophy itself. Like I said, validated aspirations. That is a pretty cool platinum image. You know, I really do appreciate on the PlayStation 3 when trophies were a new thing and achievements and everything, and they made some pretty badass trophy images. I feel like they were really, really cool back in the day. So again, the game is very enjoyable. If you guys do have it, I would suggest to do it sooner rather than later. I think I've said that like 3 or 4 times in the video now, because who knows when the servers are going to go down. And if you don't have it, pick it up and play it if you have a PlayStation 3, because it's one of those PlayStation 3 games that isn't super expensive. I mean, you're probably going to have to put out some money for it, but you're not talking like 30-40 bucks for it. I think you could probably get it under that. Don't take my word. Maybe it might be worth that now after I said that, but from what I remember paying for it, it was nothing that was really, really expensive. And all in all, it was a lot of fun. And if you're into, you know, ultra rare trophies, this is a perfect game to get you some ultra rares and an ultra rare platinum if you're into that stuff. Anyway, let's talk about some numbers now. So I'm going to break this down in terms of playing the game by yourself and playing it with a partner. So you have to do the multiplayer with a partner. Obviously, you can't do that on your own unless you have like multiple consoles. You have to do that with a partner. If you're going to be playing through the story campaign on the hardest difficulty by yourself and then doing the multiplayer and everything, you're probably talking around maybe like a 6 to 7 out of 10, probably more like a 7 out of 10. If you're going to play the campaign through in co-op, you're probably talking like a 5 out of 10. It still is somewhat difficult, and you do need to get used to the game in order to play through, and you are going to have to, again, play it on that hardest difficulty, but playing it in co-op campaign makes it a little bit easier because you can die and not have to restart the entire mission. So that takes a little bit of stress off your shoulders when playing through. So I would say 7 out of 10 if you're playing by yourself, 5 out of 10 if you're playing with another person, because you do need to put that little bit of time in to get used to the game. So time it takes to get the platinum, you're probably talking around 60 hours or so, with a majority of that coming down to the multiplayer and grinding. That can go drastically down if you're playing with more people because of streaks and stuff in the multiplayer, but I would say for the most part, you're probably talking around maybe like 50 to 60 hours. 60 may be a little on the higher side, maybe more around like 50 hours, because you can get through the campaign in maybe like 15 hours or so, 15 ish. So if you spent another like 35 in the multiplayer, that's what you would get. That's probably more realistic, honestly, 50 hours. So 5 out of 10 if you're playing with a co-op partner, 7 out of 10 if you're playing it by yourself, around 50 hours to get it done. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. Down in the description below, you'll find links to all types of stuff, my Twitter, my Twitch, all my platinum trophies that I've gotten over the years. So if you want to check any of that stuff, I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down on the game in the comments below. Again, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. If you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing for more trophy content like this, and I hope to see you all around sometime soon.